I'm one half of this thing, King.
Hey y'all, it's me, Michelle. How y'all doing?
We here at the King M.E show attempt to offer a real outlook on a healthy relationship, real being relatable,
Entertaining
accountable.
and loving.
We are what 7 weeks in cohabitating
Yes,
together, something like that.
39 days.
And you actually still around?
I'm still around, baby. I told you, I'm locked in. I'm not going anywhere.
Hmm. Okay. All right. We'll see how long that lasts.
Forever. At least the next 40, 50 years. That's what my therapist said.
Why you got on a red dress?
Because, as my mama used to say, red is for. Can we say?
We sure enough can't say it.
We can?
Whores.
Oh my gosh. So when I came home and took a shower after working out, I was like, oh, and put on your
We need for you to bring out them high heels later on, though.
dress and put on your slippers. Cause baby, when I get through, hey, I wanna show off you. You the one
I
that's supposed
figured
to
it
sing
out.
that. Okay, you the one that's
Oh,
supposed to sing that part.
I was trying to fix the tech.
I know you get distracted with tech.
Let's get the marketing out the
Let's
way.
get it out the way.
Couple of things. We have a website, thekingandmeshow.com. If you sign up for our newsletter, at the end of the month, we put out a newsletter for the people that have supplied their emails to us. And part of our newsletter, we do giveaways. The only way that you are going to be aware of what that giveaway is and how to be entered is to sign up for the freaking newsletter.
Sign up.
We are getting sign-ups though. So for those of y'all that have signed up, thank you. Arigato. Gracias. I don't know it in any other
Shishe.
language. Shishe.
Technically, shishini.
How do you say it in Jamaican?
Patois.
How do you say it in Patois?
Thank you.
It's just thank you.
I mean,
That's so late.
they don't pronounce the th. It's a dialect. It's not a language.
Jamaicans be sounding so cool. They be like, "Wagwan, my man," and then thank you is just thank you.
I mean, they don't say the th. They say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You know, but it's still thank you.
Horrible. Y'all, today's topic is one that if I would have known about the intricacies of what I was getting myself into,
And then saw me in the red dress, he still would have gotten himself into it.
I might not have known if I was still going to be getting myself into something.
And then he would have seen me in the red dress and would have been like, all right, we good.
Being in a relationship with somebody with ADHD. Michelle, what does ADHD stand for?
Attention deficit hyperactive disorder. Hyperactivity disorder.
What are how does one get diagnosed with ADHD?
Spiral off and no, I'm kidding.
Yo.
So I got diagnosed through my therapist in my 20s. Hello. I got diagnosed from my therapist in my 20s, and then my therapist in my 30s has confirmed it, like as if it needed a level of confirmation.
Okay.
So I had all of them, go through that. One can get diagnosed through their medical professional, or even someone, like if you're a school age student and your educator sees something that's concerning to them, they may have you sit with a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist can make that diagnosis as well. There is a test, like a battery of tests and everything.
All right. When did you get your diagnosis? And this is something that we can freely talk about, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you might have missed it. It was in my 20s.
Okay. Let me throw out this disclaimer. For what we're going to talk about, Michelle has been very open about her diagnosis. If you've been watching us and in a couple of our clips, she has mentioned that she has ADHD.
Yes.
And that is something that if you know some type of a diagnosis about somebody, you should do your best to ask them questions, for one.
Yep.
And then two, really do your own research on things to determine if what that person has shared with you and what your own research has given you, if you're going to have the, what's my word? If you're going to have the capacity,
the
bandwidth to really be able to, I'm not even going to say deal with, because I don't feel as though I'm dealing with your diagnoses or that I'm dealing with you.
I think you are.
but it's having the capacity to understand if you want to crap, I guess deal with this the right.
Deal with it is the right
I was
word.
trying to find a
It's
politically
okay,
correct
honey.
type of answer, but I guess deal with is the right word. Because while it is a spectrum, Michelle's diagnosis is not going to be the same as Brenda's. Brenda's is not going to be the same as James. James's is not going to be the same as Lisa. But
There are
you
going to be some
there are going
similarities.
to be a
Yeah.
lot of similarities and things in here. So let me pull up my notes here to
Okay.
make sure that I have some things to discuss here. And let's get into it. Now, I want to make sure that before we get started, this is not going to be about how to tolerate somebody with ADHD.
Right.
This is also not going to be a blame game as well. This is let's have a healthy conversation and a healthy understanding of what this is
Okay.
so that you can make an informed decision about being in a relationship, whether it's romantic or even a friendship, really.
Here's the thing, like people really want to come after folks who are neurodivergent, and it's a beautiful thing. There are so many pluses. Good evening to Mr. Bennett, who is in the building. There are so many pluses to having ADHD. I have learned to love and appreciate it. Of course, I love and appreciate it when I'm riding the high, but still, I've learned to appreciate it. So.
Okay. When people think about ADHD,
Mhm.
what is your understanding about what most people get wrong with ADHD?
So when people think ADHD, the only thing that we have been trained to think is, "Ooh, squirrel." Like someone gets easily distracted. So you know someone has ADHD if they get easily distracted. And that's textbook. That's what we've all been trained to think. But there is so much more to ADHD than just a lack of ability to focus on something.
Like what?
Um, for example, ADHD presents differently in women versus men. So in girls versus boys. Um, since I am, a school age teacher, when we look at students who have ADHD and girls, it can present as inattentive. So they are going to be your high achievers, your girls um who tend to perform really really well academically. They typically, they're all involved, they're socially active and all these different things, and they excel and they soar in everything. They tend to get put in your how classes, your what is it? High learners. That's the classes that they tend to get put in. They are advanced academic, all those things. Whereas your boys who have ADHD, they are typically your more quote unquote squirrely kids who they tend to not be able to sit still for a long period of time and they need something to distract them. You may see them as the class clowns and that type of stuff. That's how we see it in youth. And because of that, if you see those two behaviors in your classroom as an educator, you're going to say, "Oh, that boy has ADHD," but you're not going to look at the girl and say she has ADHD when in reality she does, but because it presents prettily or it presents in a pretty way in that particular moment, she'll go her entire life without a diagnosis until she hits like perimenopause when everything starts crashing around her because of the hormones that she's dealing with in perimenopause. And then it's like, "Oh, by the way, did anyone tell you you have ADHD? Because you do." And it's like you've had it all your life, but it was just passed off as high performance.
Okay. You got your diagnosis in your 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Think about your relationships before your diagnosis and then your relationships afterwards. How did having that diagnosis affect the way you were with people?
I got that diagnosis in my 20s, and it was definitely just one of those, okay, it's a couple of letters. Like, I didn't know much about it. To be honest, we're talking about somewhere like 15 some odd years ago. people weren't talking about ADHD. Like, they didn't know as much about ADHD then as they do now. So I didn't really notice the difference. I didn't put two and two together with how things were working in my life. Like, I didn't realize that the reason why all of my relationships were really brief is because I got bored easily and
Ooh.
I would move on from
Mm-hmm.
person to person. I didn't realize that that was an ADHD quality or trait, but it is. Um, I didn't realize that me chasing a level of spontaneity and all these other things from the partner that I'm with, I didn't realize that that was ADHD, but it is. I mean, you and I, we were together, we were at a graduation party on Friday, and you heard a parent talking about their ADHD having daughter
Mm-hmm.
and how she's a heartbreaker. And as she was talking, as that mother was talking, I was like, oh my gosh, that was me. That was very much me bouncing from person to person. I never had a type. I just, I liked guys. I never had a type. And I just went on. Prior to you, my longest relationship was 2 years. I had two-year relationships. And then prior to that, I think my longest relationship was like 6 months or something like that.
Do you think that they ended because of the ADHD, or was it like, was that a part of it? Do you think that if you did have ADHD, it might have been a little bit
I
longer?
probably wouldn't have gotten into relationships if I didn't have ADHD, to be
Why you say
honest.
that?
Because I think I was looking, don't let the right fool you. I was looking for a good time, like looking for someone to entertain me in the moment. And then afterwards, I was okay. Because something else with ADHDers, unintentionally, ADHDers might love bomb you unintentionally. It's not that that's what they're setting out to do, but because of the way an ADHDer's mind works, we go, can I say this? We go balls hard on something and we put our all into everything. And then to get that dopamine fix that we need within our body. And then after a while, it kind of mellows out and it stops giving that dopamine fix.
It feels like you did that to me early on.
Oh
A little bit, yes. Not as hard because I have been truly love bombed by somebody
my God.
and I didn't know what that was before it happened to me. And then afterwards I was like, "Oh, that's what that is." So I was able to understand that, but early on when you and I were like getting to know each
Oh,
other,
tell me more. Well,
like
tell them
well
more.
like your confidence in we going to be together, you just don't know it yet. The way you would speak that out, it was very similar to, I'm going to come on strong. And
But did I?
yes, like a little bit.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh. This
Yes,
is news
ma'am.
to me, y'all. He has never in 3.5 years said this to me.
Because there was never a reason to.
Live on air is now the reason to do it. Okay.
Like, well, in talking about it now and thinking about how you talked about ADHD and how some stuff, like early on, when I had my idea of what I understood it to mean, I was kind of curious as I was analyzing what's going on with this. Am I just this? Am I just a plaything?
You
Like,
thought that?
I thought the spectrum of things. So to say that it was one of many thoughts, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's nothing for you to apologize about. I did that. I'm saying I did that not because of your ADHD,
Mm-hmm.
but factoring in that you did have ADHD
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm learning about it myself, I'm asking myself, is this worth my time? Right?
Okay.
So, because the truth was early on, like I did put you in a friendship block, right? And we matured and like developed something from that. But yeah, no, that shouldn't be a surprise. Like the way that I analyze stuff. That shouldn't be a surprise.
It's not. I do want to take a moment to highlight Paul's comment, which I love that we have our television screen set up over there because I can see it ever so beautifully. It says from Paul Bennett, it says, so from what you're saying, both boys and girls suffer from restlessness or the need for constant stimulation, boys more physical stimulation, women mental stimulation, which may be why they excel. Yes, that's actually exactly what I'm saying. That is what we see scientifically. So that's coming from beyond Michelle. So don't come from me. That's what science has indicated. And as a classroom teacher, that is what I see on a daily basis. My young ladies, by and large, who have ADHD, they are typically your high academic achievers. They excel in the classroom, and they are also committed and excelling in so many other areas of their lives, not just academically. Do they crash? Yes, because crashing is a part of ADHD, but they do excel. So, yes, that is exactly what I'm saying, Paul. Thank you.
Now, one of the earlier things that I think a lot of people have a misconception on is that everybody with ADHD has a lot of forgetfulness. That is not what I experienced with you. As a matter of fact, it is the opposite of what I experienced with you. So, like we talked about earlier, ADHD is on a spectrum of
Yeah.
things. So, for you and your memory, what is it about that you think can make things difficult for me?
I'm sorry, could you restate your question?
What about you and your memory do you think, and how you have like focus on certain things, do you think could make things difficult for me, being that I'm in the relationship with you? Like, to restate it, were there things that you were nervous about with your diagnosis and your focus level
Oh, okay. Because I'm like,
that
you said memory, and I'm like, okay.
that like that could make me, that you thought might have been like, yeah, that's too much?
Well, number one, you are, you were married and you were married for 14 years. And I think that it can be a little alarming for someone who was in such a long term relationship for you to hear that we met when I was about to turn 36. For you to hear that a 36-year-old woman, her longest relationship was only 2 years. Like, and that she has no kids. I understand that that can be like red flag. Um,
Mm-hmm.
why is that? What's wrong with her? That type of thing. But the reality is, there is a scientific biological reason as to why that was going on. But I was nervous that you would think that because of my ADHD, I would flake on this relationship. Like, I would treat it as a fling, a here today, gone tomorrow type thing.
Yep. Again, one of many thoughts that I had, because I wanted to plan for, like, if this don't work, what's the least impact is this gonna have on me? Right? It was like, if I do decide to do this and it doesn't work out, how can I get out of this with the least impact for this happening? Which is a fair thing that I think anybody should think about.
Which is funny. And you know what? To be very transparent, I think that there were times before we even got together that I myself wondered that. Like, I don't want this to end. I really truly had feelings for him. And when I could openly admit that I loved you, I meant that. I still mean that. And I don't want it to end. Like, there's no part of me that ever is like, so what would life be without King? Like, no, like, it's life with King. And then in my mind, we're all, because the way my separation anxiety, because that's also a thing with ADHD. The way that I feel about separation, I just believe that we all, as in everyone in this world, we're all gonna go to sleep one night, and then that's gonna be it. Because I like not living without anyone else. So yeah, no, that's how I envision it. So I envision that you and I would be together until the day when the whole world goes to sleep.
All right. There's a part here in our notes that talks about emotional regulation
Mm-hmm.
and how that could be a challenge. And this top one here, this top bullet, rejection sensitivity.
Whew.
Oh my goodness. I wish I could just tell the camera to just focus on you specifically
Zoom in on me.
with this one. Tell me more about what that is and how that impacts you.
So what's funny is RSD, rejection sensitivity dysmorphia. That is a common thing. It is not its own diagnosis. It's a common trait or symptom, I guess you could say, that people with ADHD experience. And I had never heard of that term until September, August of this year. Of last year. So I say August because that's when the school year started, and for me, the school year is not over yet. So at the beginning of this school year, that's when I first learned about that term. And I learned about that term because I had a student who had really, really, really bad RSD.
Okay.
It was a boy. It's a boy, and it definitely. I felt like I looked at him and I'm like, honey, but like I just like for him it was certain things like I would tell the students, okay, these are the three things that you're going to do today. You're going to do A, you're going to do B, and you're going to do C. And then I would say it again. So after you do A, I want you to do B, and then I want you to do C. And then he would come to me and he would ask me what I wanted them to do. And I'm like, but didn't you just hear me say it? He's like, sometimes my mind plays tricks on me and thinks that, like, and tells me that I didn't hear what I just heard.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, honey, this is exhausting. And like, I told it to him, I told it to his case manager and everything. I was like, that's exhausting because another trait of ADHD is that we don't like repeating ourselves. So it is literally painful for me to have to repeat myself for the part of my job that requires me to repeat instructions. It is painful for me. So after I've said it twice or three times, and then someone still comes up to me because even though they're front row center, their mind is playing tricks on them and not allowing them to believe what I'm saying to them. Oh, that was painful. So that was how RSD showed up for him. For me, it tends to make me think that people don't like me. It tends to cause me to internalize things a lot more and to take a lot of things personally that may not be directed personally. You noticed it, but you didn't notice it as RSD. So when people comment, like social media is a vicious place, right? Where
Yes.
people just get on social media and they don't they don't have the balls to say something to your face, so they get on social media and they get like finger happy and they start writing all these things. Like I triple dog dare you to come say some of the stuff that y'all say on the internet to my face, and you would never do it because you ain't about that life. But you got all the time in the world to say it on the internet. But I digress. Um, so my RSD, when I see those comments, I take every single word personally. And I take it as a personal attack. Like you are attacking me, you are attacking my character. And it's not just from social media. It's if I've been at my school where I work for 6 years. Like this is the end of school year number 6. And there is someone, hola, there's aloha, Lord, wrong word. Aloha. There is someone that when I first came to the school, we got along. And on my end, nothing changed. But all of a sudden, like she doesn't talk to me anymore. And I take that personally. I literally went up to her one day and I said, what did I do to you as to why our relationship has changed? Like, you don't speak to me. You avoid me in the hallway. You literally take a different path to your classroom. You had your classroom moved so that you didn't have to pass me on the way to the bathroom and on the way to your classroom. Like you
Dang.
did all of this. What did I do to you? And she didn't like when I confronted her about that, she didn't have anything to say. But I took that all personally. And that's the RSD. The other way, but in our relationship, the way RSD shows up is that let's say we have a disagreement or we have a tiff or something. I come back to you and I ask you if you still love me because my mind believes that because we had an argument, you don't love me anymore.
I didn't understand that early on. Early on, I was like, why are you asking me
Yeah.
this question?
So that's it. My mind believes that because we had a disagreement, you don't love me anymore. So I do ask for that. I ask for little things of reassurance so that, and it's not because I'm trying to, it's not that I'm trying to keep tabs on you or anything like that, but my mind believes that if I don't hear it, it's not true.
Hmm. And that can be, it takes somebody to really like understand a person
Hmm.
to really be able to um get that so that they can give you that. Because imagine if at any point I said something other than yes, and I've said something like I don't know. I bet that's a whole spiral of
Oh
a thing.
my gosh. Another way that RSD shows up, and it can be detrimental in relationships, when you say something like, let's talk about this later, or I have something important I want to talk to you about later.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
oh,
Oh my gosh. Like, that is the end of the world as we know it,
why?
because my mind perceives negatively. Like, that's the RSD. It has nothing to do with you. My mind automatically jumps to every negative situation and scenario that could possibly happen.
So, how can two people then who process things differently be able to get to a nice, like, common ground? Because if I'm telling you, ooh, can we talk about this later? I might not have the capacity to talk about it now.
Well, so
So, like, how, how can, what's the thing that can be said or done so that you just don't go, oh my goodness, the Empire State Building's about to fall?
I think it's how you preface it and how you set it up. Excuse me. So, like, if we're talking about the color of the sky, and you're like, okay, Michelle, I can't finish this conversation right now, but later on today, I'll be able to finish it. I already know what we're talking about, so I can hold off a little bit on that.
Okay.
But if you and I weren't talking about anything, so let's say you're at work, I'm at work, we weren't conversing in any way, shape, or form, and then you just shoot me a text message and you're like, Michelle, can we talk later on today? Cancel Christmas, because I'm like, what? Oh my gosh, he's going to break up with me. He's dying. Like, my mind, in the 0.2 seconds that it took me to read that message, my mind has jumped to every negative scenario in the entire world.
Hmm.
Every negative scenario, because I don't know what that could be about.
So that's something for y'all to think about. If you are in a relationship with someone, or if you're looking at maybe, you're at that beginning stages, if you're aware of somebody having ADHD or somebody having any type of RSD, let's say they flat out told you, you really should think about how you communicate to that person. Paul said, so the silent treatment is like kryptonite to Michelle.
Whew,
Absolutely.
1000%.
And
Yes.
guess what? I'm the strong, silent type. You know what I'm talking about? But also, too, this right here in real life for us, I mean, I think everybody processes things at a different pace,
Yeah.
but it's really on a whole different spectrum when you have somebody with ADHD and the other person does not have diagnosed ADHD.
Heavy emphasis on that word, diagnosed.
Because you have to have an understanding of everything that hits that person. And my thing is if somebody with diagnosed ADHD tells you that they're on diagnosed or that they have diagnosed ADHD, I think that this is a fair question to ask, and I might get flamed for this one.
Oh my gosh.
You should ask them, are you on medication or not?
All right. So when King and I met, I was not on medication. I have been on medication. This Friday will be 44 weeks that I've been on ADHD medication. I personally see a 180-degree difference from who I am now compared to who I was back then, or a year ago, before I got on the medication. 180-degree difference. Like, this is a straight up about face. I am very, very grateful for the medication that I'm on, because it has regulated me. It has caused me to not to get my dopamine fix from somewhere else, because essentially that's what ADHD is. You need to get that dopamine fix. So it's that stimulation that you need, however it comes to you. Um I look at where I am now and I'm just like, thank God for medication. Like, I need it. I feel like I communicate differently. Little things like I can sit in silence. Paul, it's funny because I can sit in silence, self inflicted
Now,
silence,
now
and
you
be
can't.
fine. 44 weeks ago, I could not. I could not sit in silence. Like that was the loudest thing in the world to me. But silent treatment, yes, that's really really difficult because if I can't clearly understand why something is happening, then it causes me to spiral. And growing up, I have never been shy about this. My favorite word in the English language after the word free is why. I ask why about everything because my mind is like, if you can understand the why, then you can process and accept the how and so forth. And I can go from there. But whew, yeah, it's a journey.
The next part that we have here talks about the hyper focus phase. Do you think you had an hyper focus phase when it came to the relationship, like in your own words?
Our relationship,
Yes, ma'am.
in my opinion, I don't think I had hyper focus.
I don't think so either. But I
So
really got to think about it now.
the reason why my saying that I don't think I had a hyper focus in our relationship is also why I don't believe that there was love bombing because I think the two of them go hand in hand.
I agree because I don't believe that you love bomb me. Absolutely don't believe that you love. Like I experienced that.
Replay this and go back like 10 minutes because
No,
he did say that.
what I said was that I believe you did have some strong, intense ways about coming on at the beginning, but I didn't classify it as love bombing.
Run the tape back, y'all. Run the tape back. But in all seriousness, I get hyper focused about a lot of things. A lot of things. My hyper focus is what led me to believe that I could add a whole bunch of things to my plate and excel. That I needed a busy calendar in order to feel fulfilled. That's where my hyper focus was. When it comes to you, I feel like if there were something that were an ADHD only quality, it would have disappeared over the past 44 weeks. And while I am more mellow, the core part of who I am hasn't changed
I can
with you.
attest to that. Yes, I can definitely attest to that. So I'm gonna be straight. I'm gonna say this on camera.
Ooh,
If that ever changed and I ever saw it, I don't think I would hesitate to just walk away.
okay.
I wouldn't waste my time, right? Because I'd be like, I just got okey doked. I'm done.
No, one thing I can say definitively, no questions or doubt about it, is that I truly do love you. And that hasn't changed, medication or not. It's grown over time.
Oh, that's so sweet. She knows how I am. Now, what advice do you have for people that if they have diagnosed ADHD
Hmm.
and they're looking at trying to get themselves into a romantic relationship with somebody, what advice do you want to tell someone, specifically a woman, because you are a woman with ADHD, about how to try to navigate the dating world with their diagnosis?
I would tell another woman with ADHD to be honest and to be upfront. Now that I am medicated, one tactic that I do is before I buy anything, because I'm an online shopper. So before I buy anything, I let it sit in my cart for a long time. So what I mean by that, translating it into the dating world, is before you do anything, really consider it, really think things through, because another thing, another trait about ADHD is impulsivity. So we tend to just like jump on things without fully thinking things through. So I would say for a woman with ADHD, really think about, is this what I want? Really weigh those pros and cons and consider all of that before you invite someone else in. And the reason why I say that is because you don't want to think, I really want to date. I really want to date. Like, this is what I want to do. And then, like, you're into the dating season. You've met someone, this awesome guy who's really, really interested in you. and it turns out that it was just like a dopamine fix for you at the moment, and you're not really ready to pursue a relationship. That's not fair to him. That's not fair to the woman that he could have been with if he wasn't entertaining you. So really think about that before you enter into a relationship.
That's solid advice. We did get a question in the chat.
Yes.
It's a personal question.
Mm-hmm.
And we like to be honest, open, and transparent. So if you want to answer, go ahead. If not, answer it how you address it, how you like to address it. But the question is, does ADHD affect your libido, good or bad?
I'm going to be honest, Paul. I don't think ADHD does. That's my truth. I don't think it does. However, I think one could say that there has been, and by one, I mean, one could say that there was a hyperfixation a little bit on intercourse, and that I may be tunnel vision sometimes. Like if I wake up and like that's what I want, I may like that may be the only thing I see and the only thing I think about.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes.
one could say that. However, I am entering that stage of perimenopause. I'm in perimenopause, and I am also on medication, and that medication is said to tame that. That both the perimenopause and the medication are supposed to like tame that.
Where?
I guess that answers your question, Paul.
Hey, Paul, that's a good question. Thank you. Hey, if y'all have any questions in the chat, this is a good opportunity to ask a question. We try to be as open as we can. This is why we do the live stream. There's a lot of people that they come on here, they want to show you the shiny red apple and things like that. But no, we're trying to show both the shiny red apple and the core and the other pieces and parts to the apple as well. So that's a very good question, Paul. Thank you. The next part of our notes here talks about household responsibilities require systems. Oh, yes.
He
Oh
got a
my.
little too excited on
No,
this
no,
question,
no.
y'all.
Like at first I was kind of like, I don't know what there's to talk about here. There actually this thing could be a whole episode itself. No, you have to understand. I think people with ADHD looks to have things a certain way. And if those things aren't the way that it is in their mind, their whole universe gets jacked up. So you should, and I did this without even knowing it, or maybe you okey doked me into doing it. And I was like, ha ha, I got him. Having the system, having the responsibilities. I say that in jest because, to be perfectly honest, I work better when I know what my responsibilities are. But I think also for this relationship to really work, you with the ADHD, the systems have to work a certain way. Like the way that you do the recycle and the trash stuff, and like how I then, take it out, and like I know to do certain things. Yes, I know we talked about it. Yes, I know that there's a reason for it. But like the fact that I hadn't put up the printer yet, we don't need to use that printer. In my head, your mind says printer like 20 times in an hour.
Okay, so first of all, you know I don't believe in correcting you in public, but I'm gonna jump in this. I'm
What's
gonna jump
up?
in this. Number one, King is not wrong in what he's saying. However, I do want to say I don't think that's an ADHD trait. So I have OCD as well,
Is
obsessive
ADHD
compulsive
part of
disorder.
ODHD, like,
No,
or
those are
OCD?
separate.
Okay.
So they're separate, but you can always have comorbidity. So two things occurring at once, two or more things occurring at once. So for me, yes, I do have that neurodivergence of ADHD. However, people who have ADHD are typically late because of time blindness.
You're the opposite of that.
I run early for every single thing that I do.
Everything.
People who have ADHD are messy and disorganized.
The opposite of that.
I'm not. So when I look at like those two very specific things, and my, things have to be in a particular way and in a particular order, I know that's not ADHD, because ADHD is clinically the exact opposite of that.
Okay.
So that's the OCD coming out. That's the obsessive compulsive disorder. That's the things need to be in a certain order or else I literally can't sleep. Dishes need to be out of the sink or else I don't sleep peacefully at night. Things had like all of that. The fact that I keep looking in the bathroom right now, it's a whole lot of things.
No, no, no. Come on. Doggone it. Man.
That's OCD. That's not ADHD. Man, I forgot where I was going with that.
Thought I was gonna get through today.
That's OCD rearing its ugly head. So the way our household responsibilities line up, I bear the brunt of the things that happen within the household. In fact, that was actually how we divided things. I told King I will handle everything inside of the household, which I take way too seriously. I'll handle everything inside of the household, and you handle everything outside of the household. I remember it now. So, King, you make sure that the trash outside is taken care of. You make sure the recycling is taken care of. I will make sure the carpet is vacuumed, the toilets are clean, that type of stuff. I will handle the laundry. I will handle the dishes. However, I hate putting away dishes. It's like the bane of my existence, specifically silverware. Can you please handle that? So that's how we divided things. But that printer, let's talk about it, y'all. So 2 weeks ago, one night, like it was like one, no, it wasn't Wednesday because we were busy. Um, yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago. So either that Monday night or that Tuesday night, 2 weeks ago, King was actively upstairs doing something, y'all. He was actively upstairs working. And he was trying to get rid of some mail because we have a 24-hour mail limit. So when mail comes, it can't just sit on a counter somewhere. You have to dispose of it within 24 hours. Like move it, store it, file it, trash it, whatever, shred it within 24 hours. And there was some stuff that was just sitting and it was for like casinos, and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to like cancel this." But in order to cancel it, they required you to print something. 2 weeks ago, y'all. So in the middle of the evening, almost nighttime, he darts out this house to go to Walmart or Best Buy or something to go buy a printer because he needed that printer. He came home with that printer. 2 weeks later, the printer's still not set up. So you had this high urgency to go get that printer in the middle of the night, but then the urgency dissipated. That sounds more like ADHD than some of the stuff that I do. Because that's what we talk about, that impulsivity, that dopamine fix. He went out and bought it because he needed to buy it because he needed to print something off like in the moment. And all now, 2 weeks later, said printer is still not put together.
I don't think that that's ADHD.
But the other thing that you need to know as to why my mind keeps thinking about the printer 17 times a day is because our recycling gets collected on Tuesdays. So if he takes the printer and puts it together, excuse me, by Monday night, then the box for the printer can get disposed of on Tuesday when recycling comes.
Okay.
I feel like you should explain why you ran off. I feel like that should come from you, sir, not from me.
Ah, man. So one of the things that we talked about is toilet seats. Like not just the seat, but like the cover lid as well. And Michelle has asked if I can ensure that the lid and the seats are down. I agreed and said yes. It's not my normal nature though to have them down. So now I try to, if I use the restroom, I try to immediately just close everything. But sometimes I forget. And in that forgetfulness, I'll be sitting down randomly. And if I think she about to get home, I'm like, did I put all the toilet seats down? So I'm checking all the bathrooms in the house to make sure that all of the seats are down. So when she just said, as I'm looking over there in the restroom, I look over and it's like toilet seat. I'm like, no. I don't even know when that happened. Right before we went live, I used the restroom. Doggone it.
I just want to put out there that we have been doing this live stream for 3 years, and never have we ever had one of us need to like step off camera. But here we go. Here we go.
Oh, ADHD and finances.
Child.
Impulse purchases, subscription overload, difficulty tracking spending.
So that is 100% true. I remember, so like when I got on the medication that I'm on, I did a daily video for the first 7 days, and then after that, I've been doing a weekly video. And I remember talking about that in one of my weekly videos.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said earlier, um, now because I do most of my shopping online, I try not to impulse buy anything. I try to put things in my shopping cart and let it sit there for a while so that I can decide if this is something that I need to have. And if I need to have it, is it something that I need right now, or is it something that can wait a little bit? So that has saved me money because I'm not immediately buying things. For example, Skechers is having a sale right now. They're having a buy one get one 50% off on their slip-on shoes. And King and I, we love their slip-on shoes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We also have a walking pad in here. So because we don't wear shoes in the house, I'm like, if I'm using the walking pad because of my plantar fasciitis, I need to have shoes on. And I'm like, well, what shoes can I wear on the walking pad that like I can only put on there? So like I need fresh shoes that have never been worn outside to wear on the walking pad. So that's how I ended up on the Skechers website. I found two pairs of shoes that I really, really love, and they are still sitting in my shopping cart. I have a shopping cart on Amazon where I let things sit for a period of time until I absolutely need them. Um, I do I have these little stickers. I got a stamp made that says you survived Miss Early's business class. And I stamp it onto a thank you note, and then I attach it to a bag of fruit snacks, and I give it to my kids at the end of the semester. Well, I knew I needed them for this week, but I kept having them in my shopping cart for like the last month, and I just let it sit there, and I would move it from shopping cart to save for later as I was getting things that I actually needed. And this helps me to save money. I do comparison shopping. So on our fridge over here, we have one, two, three, four, five, six grocery stores listed on our whiteboard. And the reason why I have it that way is because now I do comparison shopping. So I'm like, these are the products that I need, but who can I get it from where I'm going to get the most value for my money? I know, for example, if I want eggs for King, it's cheaper to get it at the commissary than it is for me to get it at Food Lion. Prior to getting it at the commissary, it was cheaper to get it at Food Line than it was for me to get it anywhere else. And I know that because went through the apps, and I comparison shopped. Unmedicated Michelle would have just bought it wherever I was, and I wouldn't have had a list. I would have been picking up items here and there. So it causes me to save money because I'm not impulsively buying things anymore.
Do you think that the relationship could have thrived without you on medication?
I I have to say yes because we did make it 3 years without me being, well, I guess almost 3 years at that point without me being on it. I wonder about our overall longevity if I hadn't.
Hmm. What are some things do you think that are there that could have been difficult without that change?
I think so. I needed to be able to find peace without you. And I needed to be able to quiet my mind without you, because if I didn't learn how to do that independent of you, I think it would have become taxing and overwhelming for you.
I agree.
And that could have caused static in our relationship.
Hmm.
So I think like those are some things that I needed to be able to get. And if not, it wouldn't have worked out well for us.
I know we talked about things earlier as far as like advice that you would share for women, but in general, what are some tools or some things that can help people with ADHD navigate relationships, like the relationship space?
I think you really need to be open and transparent with yourself and with the person that you were dating, the person you were interested in, because it's a it's a spectrum of emotions that you go through. So many different things, forgetfulness, wanting attention, thinking that people are hurting you. Like you really need to be open and you really need to be transparent. And if you are dating, I think that you should also be seeing a therapist if you have ADHD. Like you really need to talk things through with a therapist.
What about the person that doesn't have ADHD that is dating somebody with ADHD? Should that person go through some type of a therapy situation to learn how to be in it? Like, ooh, should that couple go through couples counseling?
I would say they should
I think
because
they absolutely should.
there's so much that is tied to ADHD, and I think it's important for both parties to understand like what they're getting into.
Yeah,
But for the person who doesn't have ADHD, who's dating someone with ADHD or in a relationship with someone with ADHD, patience and grace are your two best friends in that relationship.
absolutely. Patience and grace. And I think that's a good point to end at. And if anything, will probably be my biggest takeaway. Again, before her and I decided to take things beyond a friendship,
Mm-hmm.
I did my own independent research to decide if ADHD, OCD, and all of the other things that Michelle has
All
talked
the
about
other D's.
was something that I had the capacity to be able to, man, deal with sounds so bad.
But it's the
Endure.
word. Endure. Okay.
Endure. Yeah.
We'll take that.
To 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 understand that helped me out. If I didn't have an understanding of what those things were, her looks wouldn't have been enough. Your looks to me just would not have been enough for me to go, yeah, I'll stick with this. I would be like, I don't want no parts of this. So, to the people out there that are sitting on the spectrum of should I or shouldn't I urge you to do as much research as you can
Research,
on your
research,
own
research. Yes.
and look at the person that you're talking to and decide if they're being honest with you. The great part about what I thought about her is that not only did she already like vlog about a lot of this stuff for years, anything that I had asked her, I wasn't embarrassed to ask her, and she was open about it. And I felt like her openness was genuine and it was truthful. And I gave a lot of respect for that. Had she dodged anything, or I would have felt like she was hiding anything, not to say that I'm the best judge of understanding if somebody's being truthful or not, but I never got the feeling of she over there hiding something. So
I share
take that for what it's
everything,
worth. You overshare, which is not no, like
which
that's
is a
not bad.
quality of ADHD. Just throwing that out there.
I'm an over. Oh my! All right, y'all. This has been another episode of the King M.E Show. If you're watching us on W.T.F Nation Radio, right after us, Ice, who has been on vacation or whatnot for a while, will be live tonight with the Monday edition. I am
Monday
going to look here
edition.
real quick to see if he has a guest. Michelle, do you have anything?
Sure. ADHD is a beautiful thing. Like there are many pluses. I tend to recall a lot of information
Let me see this.
at a random time. Um, as a woman, I really was that ADHD kid who excelled. I excelled in math only, but I excelled in math and it carried me a long way. I feel well no, people with ADHD, they do tend to be a little bit more empathetic and that goes a long way as an educator. So for me, I look at it like, yeah, there's some negatives, some definite cons, but then there's some beautiful pros about it. And I wouldn't change my level of empathy for the world. I wouldn't change the sunshine that I get and that I'm able to appreciate things. So, and ADHD and all, I still love my man. So,
Oh, thank you. Shout out to CC Smith. CC Smith is in the building. Said good night, y'all. Good night to
good
you.
night.
To the people on the King and Me show, thank you. To our partners out there, Creation Station and Perry Production, I want to say thank you as well for allowing us to be on your platforms. To WTF Nation Radio, y'all come back here in a couple of minutes as Ice on the Monday edition does have a guest, Marie Henriksen. That sounds very German. My bad. I shouldn't have said that. Marie Henriksen is going to be on WTF Nation Radio tonight. Thank y'all for tuning in. That's Michelle. I'm King, and we're out.
I want to say my hand is getting better. So I got the stitches out. It's getting better, y'all. It's healing. It still hurts a little bit, but it's getting better.
Good job, babe.
All right. I love you.
Love
Let's
you.
do this again.
And last one. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Peace.